Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Welcome to Girl Be Honest, a podcast about Christian women coming together, having honest conversations about life, our experiences, and growth. I'm Shayla.
And I am Key, and today we're going to be talking about love. This
Yes.
episode will be coming out on Valentine's Day, so it's a special episode for us.
Yes, it
Not
is.
specifically like just love, but
Yeah.
self-love and
Mm-hmm.
relationships and
Yeah.
all that good stuff, all that gushy stuff that
Yeah.
we're kind of like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how are we gonna kick this off?
I want to ask you a question.
Oh God, Shayla, come. When you start off like that, I have a question
No.
about to ask.
Okay, how are you loving yourself in this season?
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I've already talked about this. I've been going to the gym, building a little mound.
Mm-hmm.
The mound is my buttocks. I have also been trying to eat a little bit cleaner, just
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, like not much. And I've been eating more, like making sure I try to do 3 meals a day, or at least two.
Yeah.
Going on walks and kind of just telling myself like, not every day or but when I feel down, just being like, you know what, you are that girl. Like just
Yeah.
saying little affirmations like that to myself. So yeah. How about you?
I think for me, what it looks like is I might be a little bit deep with this one. Saying yes to the things that I want and saying no to the things that I don't want. And like being clear about those things and like giving myself permission to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a good like learning thing.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman. We have a tendency to be like, yeah,
Yeah. I'll just
okay,
go along with
I'll
it.
just do it.
Yeah. But now I'm like, if I don't want to do something, no.
Mm-hmm.
If I meet a guy and I'm like not feeling I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna like keep going
Mm-hmm.
with this. Like, just no. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, we skipped over the fact, but our podcast listeners, y'all won't necessarily be able to see this, but if you go and watch us on YouTube, you'll
Hmm.
be able to see we're in
Yeah, we
pajamas.
are.
Y'all see it? Red and pink. Pink and red.
Yeah. We try to be festive or
We
whatever.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just wanted to throw that out there, put a
Yeah.
little plug and
Yes. Watch the YouTube video.
yes, please do. We want views.
Hmm.
Okay, Shayla. So when you think of how do I word this? How has your, I guess, view of love changed over the years?
Hmm. Oh man. Um, I like definitely think that there's more layers to it now. I feel like maybe when I was younger, I equated like love to like probably I think parents is like our first like view of love, so like how they love you. So probably I think I had like a more like simplified definition of what love is, and like I used to think love was like affection and like your parents telling you like, "Oh, I love you," and all of that type of stuff. Now I feel like it's grown so much more because like my relationship with God has grown. And I think a lot of times we can feel like love is like just a feeling,
Mm-hmm.
but like I really feel like love is like more of an action and just um like how I would say like how God shows up for you and like faithfulness and like telling you the truth and like doing what is best for you, even though, even if you have certain feelings about what that is. I like am leaning more towards those things now and not just this like simplified version of like, oh, this feels like warm and fuzzy, like this is love. So I feel like it's a lot more complicated like than we might initially think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it's very similar to
Mm-hmm.
you. I feel like love for me has kind of changed over the years because I've learned to like love myself and like
Mm-hmm.
love the skin that I'm in and learning that like God's love is like the ultimate
Mm-hmm.
love. And
Yeah.
like you said, like it's not necessarily like he did this for me
Yeah.
or like he isn't like somebody in a relationship or
Yeah.
something that you're in a relationship with. But just learning that like God's love is sufficient. And because that's sufficient, I need to love myself
Yeah.
because he loved me first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a cycle for me.
Yeah.
Some days, like, I don't love myself completely. I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I have a pimple on my face today or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like trying to constantly remind yourself, like, no, like, God loves you no matter what. You need to love yourself
Yeah.
and hold yourself up on that pedestal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's made me hold myself to a higher standard too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Um, even like things with like appearance or
Mm-hmm.
things with like maybe I necessarily like I don't say I never did this, but making sure that I watch what I post on social media, how I
Mm-hmm.
present myself, like holding myself to that higher standard because like I'm representing God's love and
Yeah.
like showing people like this is what he can do in your life and things like that. And then
Yeah.
outwardly showing them like I love myself and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
I do want to like highlight something that you said because this might not directly be talking about love, but like I feel like I've been constantly reminded of this, and it does connect to something that you said, and it's like being a representation of God's love.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times, like I've noticed that like more people watch this than I realize, and sometimes when it comes to like what do you call it, discipleship or something, or what, evangelism,
Okay.
I can get like super nervous about like sharing the gospel, and like I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I'm not like, I don't know what the words to say and all of that. And like I feel like I've been constantly reminded of like, you don't have to directly go up to him and be like, Jesus, this and that, like have this whole like long speech. I think a lot of times people like are introduced to God by just viewing you, like how you interact with them, and like, even like this, watching
Yeah.
us do this, or like watching like how we speak about God, or how we like handle certain situations like out in the world. And so like I'm being reminded like of like we can be a representation of God's love by our interactions with people, and then that way we can introduce him to people, and not, it's not just this like, calculated like thing. So I'm like being reminded of that, now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very important to do that, especially in the world that we're living in today. And
Mm-hmm.
that could be a whole nother episode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Y'all know what? Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
If you're on TikTok or anything, you know everything that's going
Yeah.
on.
We can talk about it.
Yeah,
A little bit.
we could.
Yeah.
Because this people might be like, this is a different topic. Like this,
But it is related to love though.
yeah, because it's like that's what we're taught to do first: love, not
Yeah.
judge.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's a lot of what's going on. Like,
Yeah. And we're specifically referring to like the Maverick City like performance with Quavo. And like I've just seen like a lot of like criticism, yeah, about it. And I've kind of been like, what? Like, I don't know. I know people have like different opinions about like how we're supposed to interact with the world, and we're not supposed to be in the world, like whatever, in the world or up, whatever. So, but I think there's such a like, I feel like I said, the way we can introduce like God's love to people is through love. It's not just this criticism, like let me be this exact way, and I feel like, and a lot of times I feel like we're criticized for like being in certain spaces, but like that's what we're supposed to do. You can't be a light in a dark place and stay around all Christian people and like everyone who thinks like you, and everyone who only listens to worship music, and everyone, like you have to go out to those places. Now, am I saying like intent? Your intent too, okay? Yeah. So don't go, obviously don't go if you already know you're going to places to do certain things. That's different, But like if you are going to be a representation, like I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like there's so much criticism. Like it's just ridiculous. And to say that like God's people can't be in a certain place, like God owns everything. Yeah. You're telling me that there's boundaries of where like
the gospel, like you don't know why they were called to be there.
Right.
God literally said, I need you at the Grammys. Brandon, I think his name is Brandon because he made a speech from Maverick City Music. I need you to say this as soon as you go up there.
Yeah.
Like this is what I need you to do. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what people are called to do. We don't know what people are condemned some people aren't don't feel condemned to listen to like worldly
Yeah.
music because all worldly music is not bad. Like,
Yeah,
we
it's
said that
not.
on the
Mm-hmm.
episode, and I just think like we people are throwing stones and they're
Yeah.
not even hiding their hands now.
No.
They're just condemning people.
Yeah,
Because it
and
used to be like you
yes.
throw stones and you don't,
Yeah.
you then you hide your hands. But now
Yeah.
they're just like, I'm gonna throw them
Yeah. You
and you
sound
see me
like
throw them.
you sound like a Pharisee to me.
Yeah.
That's what you are, and you don't even realize it. There are people that make content videos for criticizing pastors
Yeah.
and people. Like that is what their content is and their goal is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why? And who are you helping by doing that?
It's literally
Like
just to get clicks.
it
And
is.
it's my thing is I think social media, like everybody, oh gosh, I don't even know how to put this in like a nice way. Everybody does stuff for clickbait. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times, like you're putting content out for clickbait, and it's just like false prophets.
Yeah.
False prophets are a real thing, and they're not just in the church.
Mm-hmm.
They are not just in the church. They're on social media. They sometimes are your friend, your cousin, your brother. Like those can be like false prophets, and a lot of the times people are using this stuff as clickbait. They're like, I got a word from
Yeah.
God,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like to judge people, and as Christians that's not giving out the proper love.
No, it's not. Who are you drawing in with that?
Yeah.
Because if they look at you and they see you just spewing this stuff, why would they want to be a part of that?
I wouldn't.
Me neither.
Like what's a Christian and somebody's trying to pull me in.
Yeah, and right. If they if they started it out like your music, the music that you listen to is bad, and you're this and you're that, like that. Why would I want to be a part of that?
I wouldn't.
No.
I can tell you like hands down, like I wouldn't. So I think it's so important to have people around you that display the love of the gospel and what God can do in your life and just to display that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's just, and it's so there's this, I had clinical in like a psych unit for kids once. Mm-hmm. And that was very eye-opening to me to see like the different like mental illnesses and stuff that like teenagers and kids were going through. And there was this one girl, without giving too many details, that was, hearing things and seeing things and all of that. And it was kind of something that she had been experiencing for a long time. Like this was just a long thing for her. And for whatever reason, it was probably God, she was just very like comfortable with me immediately. All she wanted to do was talk to me and and she was very open about her experiences. And she said something to me. She was like, like I try to talk to my mom about this stuff, but I feel like I can't because I feel like she judges me and she doesn't really help me, like give me the help that I need. And she was like, she's a Christian. And she kind of like squinted her face and like, made a face and she's like, she's a Christian, like, you know what I mean? And it was just so like, and at the time I didn't have the courage because I was still like a baby Christian. And I was like, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. Like, but I don't feel that way. But I just in that moment felt it was so sad to me that like if anyone looks like love, it should be us.
Yeah.
Like we should be that. We should not be this thing that people are like a Christian, like she's, like that. And I just thought it was so sad. Like if anyone can help her, like it's God.
Yeah.
And like the person,
should be us.
Right. And like the person that is her go-to, and is a Christian, quote unquote, is not the person that is like representing him in the best way. And so I just thought that was so sad because I'm like, dang, if anybody can help her, like it's God, like, but she's turned away from it because of how someone is presenting it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that happens like so often. I feel like I had somebody that like was close to me in my life that experienced like church hurt and maybe not Christians being as they should. Yeah. Feeling like Christians are judgmental and just not loving and this and that. And I think sometimes like a lot of times in the world that we're living in right now, Christians just feel like they can't be one and the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do we feel that way? Like I feel like that's the root cause of it all. Like, why are you condemning people for things that God has condemned you for? Yeah. Is it because you're still struggling with that and you want to push it onto people? What is it? I
think so. I think you haven't settled your own things with whatever that thing is that you struggle with. And so now you're outwardly pushing it to other people. And it's like, God doesn't want you to do this. God doesn't want you to do that. It's like, He doesn't want you to do that. And like, you need to settle that within yourself before you try to come to me and like teach me about it or really condemn me about whatever it is. Like, you need to do that within yourself first.
Yeah.
There's that Bible verse that is like, it's like you're worried about the speck in my eye and you have a big plank in your eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you need to, and it says first, you need to deal with the big plank in your eye. That's how I read it. You need to deal with the big plank in your eye first before you come over and try to deal with the speck in my eye.
Yeah. For those who would like it even in more simpler terms, Michael Jackson said, start with the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Like, what in the world?
He
like,
did. Michael went off with that song.
Yeah. But I don't know. That is like one thing that like gets to me and I'm very passionate about is just like this like holier than thou thing. And like that is how we're thinking we're gonna pull people in church. And it's like, oh well, I can be in the church building, but that person can't be in it. And but like, why?
I never want to appear holier than thou.
No.
The reason why is because there's a such thing as the internet. Yeah. Things are always on the internet. And I don't know if I put something out when I was 14 on the internet, not even supposed to be on the internet. I don't know what I done said because I done came a long way in like my journey. Yeah. So I'm just like, please, guys, please. Yeah. And all sins are equal. Mm-hmm. There's no sin that's greater than any other sin. So I know that I go through my own stuff. Yeah. There's lots of stuff that I need to work on. So I'm not approaching people in that way of being like, I'm this and like you're that and all of that. Like, yeah. And we all can be judgmental of things, but it's just like checking yourself at the door. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I think I like that you said that too, because some things aren't natural to us. Yeah. Sometimes it is natural for you to look at someone and automatically make a judgment towards them. Yeah. Like that is what you're conditioned to do. But like, I think you're still making progress if you check yourself. Yeah. And you're like, oh, why do I feel this way? Why am I approaching this person this way? Mm-hmm. And not because I think sometimes we can feel bad too, because we're like, oh man, why did I judge that person? Why did I? And it's like some things you're learning, but like at least check yourself and try to do something different. Exactly. Always learning. Yeah. We went on a long thing about that. Yeah, but yeah, it did. It hits a nerve with me. I mean, it gets on my ooh. Yeah. I feel a way about that. I do. Yeah. Because I was also I was a person who like didn't know how I was gonna be perceived when I started going to church because I didn't grow up in church. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, like I don't know. I've heard certain things. I don't want to go to this environment and be judged because I'm not a perfect person and all of this stuff. And so now if I feel like someone is doing that, because I have experienced God's love, like his true love, and I've experienced the love of people through God and like the community that he has introduced. And like, I feel like that is a gift that like everyone should receive. Yeah. And so I get upset when I do see something that looks like it would turn someone away, because now it seems like you're not giving them access to that love. What they need. And I think it's like, so going on. Yeah. But I think it's even like, it's that Bible verse where it's like God wants the people that are broken the most. Like, because if you're not broken, you don't need him for anything. You're not going to continue to like come to him. He wants the people at his door that like he needs the most, that need the love, that need the hug or the warm feeling. Those are the people that he wants. Yeah. And it's something that happens in the Bible all the time. It's something that happens in present day all the time, where we try to be holier than thou and push people away. Why do you want them in here? Yeah. Was it like the debt collectors, tax collectors? And like they're like, why are you eating with them? Yeah. The like, prostitute. Well, yeah. Like, what is the point? Right. What's the point of all this? Yeah. If Jesus is gonna be this perfect person and just be with perfect people, and like there's no point in any of it. No, they're not gonna feel like they need you. Yeah. I want to stay imperfect and just on a journey continuing to get there. Yeah. Because I feel like we get to that point of like perfection, which nobody ever will. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like it can turn into pride too. It can. Yeah. Because if I was perfect, couldn't tell me nothing. Yeah. Oh,
Anyway, that was
anyways,
something, but it still was related to
yeah,
love because it's like how we represent love to other
yeah.
people. And I think that is so important.
It was a good, great way to kick it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting into the juicy stuff.
Juicy.
Oh, you got any questions for me?
Um, are you dating right now?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm waiting for God to send somebody to my doorstep.
So,
Yeah.
how is that working out for you?
Not how is that working out for you?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Honestly, I've kind of just been like, God, like, and not necessarily at my doorstep,
Mm-hmm.
but in my presence. I'm
Okay.
trying not to like hide myself. Like I try to
Mm-hmm.
make sure I'm going out during like the day because like
Yeah.
I'm work right now, or like
Mm-hmm.
go to the grocery store to make sure like I look presentable,
Yeah.
or just trying to actively place myself, be out,
Yeah.
um, but not seeking right now. There's nothing wrong with seeking. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong if you're like on a dating app. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with any of that. It's just for me and my season, I am like, you know what? Let me just see what you can do. Let me, but
Yeah.
not like doubting him, but
No, I get what you're saying.
just see what you gonna do. Like I don't get the dating apps.
Yeah.
I'm chill.
Yeah.
And you'll send somebody. I say all the time, like I'm gonna meet my husband this year. I'm gonna be in a relationship with him this year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that approach, just like seeing what he can do.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we like stretch ourselves, like trying to like do all of these backflips just so we can be in a relationship and like all of this. And like sometimes I think maybe sometimes overcomplicated too.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, we do live in a world where it's just hard. And we live in Atlanta too, where it's just like there's so many women, like
Girl.
women everywhere on every corner, and like the men are like it's like this big. It's like five of them, you know? And so it's just, it's kind of difficult to like meet people. And it's like where, and like not just meet people, but like people you're compatible with and who love God and who are attractive and who are like, financially, who have like all of these things. And so I think it's hard.
Yeah. Atlanta will literally have you like doubting God. Like,
Mm-hmm.
God, can you actually do it in this city?
Yeah.
They will have you making compromises with God.
Yeah.
Like
You're like, I'll
leaving to
just,
go to like DC,
yeah.
Houston. What about California? Like just
Right.
naming
Like, do
out
I
all
need to
these cities.
move?
You
Yeah.
ever anybody there? Like
Yeah.
Atlanta's like one of those cities that genuinely will have you just like, hey God,
Mm-hmm.
I know this is what I but know that I'm willing to go this extra mile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because ooh, child, Atlanta is Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's definitely hard.
It is. I think how have you been feeling with Valentine's Day coming up?
Um, I've had mixed feelings.
Mhm.
I am, I don't know. I've had like days where I felt like to be upset that I like don't have someone
Mhm.
to do Valentine's Day with, like to be upset about that is like, why would I be upset about that? Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay, like genuinely, like, and I don't have everything that I want in my life, but like I have a lot of the things
Yeah.
that I want in my life. So like to be upset about that has been like, why am I upset? But then I do have some days where like I see all those Target decorations and for Valentine's Day and I just want to push the whole cart over like as soon as I go in there because I've been so mad and I'm like, ugh, it's just so annoying.
Yeah.
But I'm like trying to find the balance. I could, honestly, I could have somebody to do some Valentine's Day with.
Period.
I could. I just know that. I mean, I 100%. But I think I am in a space too where like if it doesn't serve me, like I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit at home on my couch on Valentine's Day than like entertain something that I know I don't want or that is not for me just for the sake of being out on Valentine's Day to say like I did something on Valentine's Day. Like to me, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I kind of shared this with you the other day. I feel like I'm kind of up and down with it just because like some days I'm totally fine. I'm like, oh, I don't need anybody. And other days I'm like, I'm gonna download an app, and even though I know that's not like what I want, and like you said, just to be with somebody on the day, and then probably not talk to them afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that? But part of me is just like, I could download an app, probably get a date, not even probably could get a date, and just go out with somebody, just have a good time. It's like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then like I guess like the sadness is coming in because I like see it, and I feel like I truly thought that the person that I was like engaging with last year, that it would be something.
Yeah.
Like we would finally get it together. And I was like, that'll probably be not just my Valentine, but that'll be like, I feel like this is crazy. I'm about to say this, but I was like, this will probably be my forever Valentine's when we're like, he'll get it together, I'll get it together, and it'll just be fine. Like, I'm done. This is it. I don't have to search anymore. This is it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like reality of like, I feel like it's hit me, but like with this holiday coming up, I'm like, oh, dang, like,
yeah, here it is.
Here it is.
Another Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other flip side of it, I'm like, oh, fine. Like, we're planning a Valentine's
Day.
We
are. And that's exciting too.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Just find other things to do. Go towards things that God has placed in your life right now. Enjoy the single season. When are we going to be this age again?
Never.
Single, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
For Valentine's Day. Like, looking it up.
And if you are someone who like, if you're someone who has someone, like, lean into that and just be so excited and happy that like, because I feel like sometimes it like, I mean, not everyone, but like it takes so long to get there. And like, if you have someone that you do love and you finally there, like sit in that and just like enjoy it, like be happy, like enjoy the fact that you do have someone. Cause I'm not a hater. Cause I feel like a lot of people are like, Valentine's Day is like just another day. And I'm like, to you, it's another day. Like to someone else, it's a special day. So like, let them have that moment. Just because you don't care, you think it's stupid or whatever. Like, and don't let a man, if Valentine's Day is important to you, don't let a man tell you that it shouldn't be important to you.
Like, it's vice versa.
Don't do that.
Women, because I know some women that are like, I don't want anything for Valentine's Day. And that's okay. Like, but don't diminish the holiday for somebody else. Equally yoked people.
But I feel like what I have seen a lot of times every year is like women who are dating men who are not intentional at all, and it's important to them, and like they express, you know, being honest. Last year was in a situation where I had expressed that like it was important to me, and this person kind of diminished, you know, this thing and was like, you know, it was kind of like this, you know, gaslighting type of situation. And you don't deserve that.
No, you don't.
Don't let anyone make you feel like go buy yourself some flowers. Like go find someone who will buy you flowers without you asking. Because you deserve that.
Cut that man off.
Right.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah. Don't let anyone know. Don't do that this year. No.
I'm glad you said that too about like not being a Valentine's Day hater, because I hate, even though I know we just said like knock all of that over, but that's like in our moment. Because if I'm with somebody, I am celebrating Valentine's Day. I do not come to me telling me that it's just another day. If he didn't get you flowers on this day, I don't hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, don't be a hater. And I feel like a lot of the times for people, what I have seen is that the people that are the haters of this holiday have had a bad Valentine's Day where they genuinely really wanted something from somebody. They were dating somebody or something like that. And that person didn't come through for them. So it made them by default hate the holiday, or by default be like, well, I don't really want anything, suppress those feelings. No.
And it's not about you too, because Valentine's Day might not be a big deal to you, but what if you're dating someone who it is a big deal to? You know, like, why would you tell that person, well, it's just why do you want this? It's easier to just go buy some dang flowers than to sit and tell someone that how they feel about Valentine's Day doesn't matter. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, like, what are we doing, y'all? Like, come on. And if that's one like that you love and that's important to you, why would you sit and tell them? I feel bad for some women. Like these stories that I hear were like, I told him I wanted flowers and then he didn't do it. Like, no.
I'm going to break up with you.
You should. Like, no, No, it's just that is a mess to me.
No settling in 2023.
No, we're not doing that.
The least you can do, like you said, is buy some flowers. And if you don't have it, because I know like times may be hard,
Hmm.
make a card.
Okay.
Write a little note. Because I promise you,
Something.
that note, I'm gonna cherish it.
Yes.
So happy on the floor crying.
Yeah. My gosh. Please don't be ridiculous to somebody on Valentine's Day. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Don't be a, what do they call him? Scrooge?
Yeah.
Scrooge, yeah.
Don't do that, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I get so sad for some people. I'm like,
Things are rubbing you the wrong way.
and they
I
are.
love that.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Hey, but you're telling them off.
Yeah. Don't do that, please. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Mm. I, I, we've talked about this before, but we have kind of just said, you know, God bring to my doorstep.
Yeah.
The man that you want, with physical features.
Physical features, nice and chocolate. That's what I like. Nice and chocolate.
No, please, because that's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like. Nice muscles. Okay, you have to be in the gym because I'm in there.
Period.
So if I'm in there, then you need to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A beard would be nice. Doesn't have to be. If you're handsome, I'm not gonna be like, no, you don't have a beard. Like, why would I do that? You know, you might as well show off your face, your beautiful face, if you're fine.
Period.
Why would you cover it up? Um,
I'm like,
nice white, pretty teeth. I love all of that. Um, I think I checked all. Oh, nice, tall.
I was about to say you forgot one.
Yeah, tall. Yeah.
Tall. Oh my God.
That's what I like.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about you, Kiana?
Mm. Mm. I love a tall man.
Mm-hmm.
I love a husky man.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Kiana likes, you know that SZA song, right?
Oh
The
yeah, I need a big boy.
Yeah, that's Kiana's theme song.
It is. I've dated a lot of like just different like body sizes and things like that. I would say like I love a husky man.
Yeah.
Like over like 6 feet, like 6'3" or so.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm getting into that like time in my life. I'm like, do I really have a preference of like race, nationality, things like that? I don't. You just gotta be fine. I like some tattoos.
Yeah.
I love a beard. I really want to say it's a requirement, but I don't want to be like,
yeah,
because you know I have beautiful face too.
Exactly.
But nice white teeth, nice smile. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of bald.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really want like someone that's bald.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just know it's just not for me. I don't think. What else? I don't know. Okay, I have like something for our viewers to listen to or like to envision. If you know what a Q dog is.
Oh gosh. Here we go.
Picture like the finest Q dog with a beard.
Oh gosh.
Over 6 feet that you've ever seen. That's not bald. That's a husky man. That's what I want. That is what I want.
Yeah.
That is what I pray for. And if he's a Q dog, that's even better. But I'm just saying, like that body type.
Yeah. How do you manage like I know like we didn't talk about me dating too much, but like how do you like when you meet someone, how do you decide if like this is a person that is for you, like you're gonna get moved forward, or like you're kind of like how do you navigate like when you do meet someone, you know, how do you navigate all of that?
I don't know. It's really based off of like the vibe. In like recent years, like when I first got to Atlanta, I've told you before, I was kind of just dating because I was like, I don't really have a job right now. I'm like kind of want to see the city, and it was a really good way to see the city.
Yeah.
But in later years, it kind of just got to the point to where I would cut people off very easily. If something wasn't sitting right with my spirit, it's like, you know what? No, I really want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
And I think I base it off a lot of like the vibe. If you say something like I don't really necessarily agree with,
yeah,
I'm gonna cut you off because not like I feel like early on in relationships or
Yeah.
like getting to know somebody, if like
Hmm.
those are red flags, they're
Yeah.
gonna continue to be red flags.
Yeah.
If the person usually shows their true colors,
Yeah.
I feel like in that
I
first
think
bit
so.
of time.
Yeah.
Because my thing is you're trying to put out your best self
Hmm.
in that first bit of time. And so if any red flag
Yeah.
occurs during your best self phase,
I agree.
that is
That's you.
the ultimate
Yeah.
for me. I'm like,
Hmm. I'm
you
like,
this is your best
I
self.
know. I'm like, this is, I don't know about this. Yeah.
Young me, I was very much so like, oh, I'm gonna get like
Oh, yeah.
chances.
Yeah.
Those chances, Dave, they are over.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way too, because I think before, but I've learned from negative experiences
Mm-hmm.
that like these red flags that you see, they don't go away and they just magnify. And
Yeah,
like things that are like, that's a little off. I don't know about that. But then like you like push it down, you're like, oh, but he's cute and nice. So we're just gonna keep going. Like that stuff doesn't go away, it just gets bigger. And then
it
you
does.
like want to kick yourself because you're like, I saw this like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I saw this at week 2, week 3, week 4. Like, and sometimes like what I've been doing is like, I've been praying, man, I really want to say this. I think sometimes like we pray, which it does work sometimes. We pray like, okay, God, if this is not the man for me, like you end it, like don't shut it down, don't like you close the door. But like I've prayed that recently and I feel like I was convicted because God was like, you've come out of like a situation where like you've learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I'm teaching you, like I'm empowering you to make decisions for yourself. So if you know something, if you see something, if I'm showing you something, you end it.
Discernment.
Don't wait for someone to stop talking to you or for them to close the door. If you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing certain things, give yourself that permission to make a decision for yourself. Like you don't have to wait for God sometimes God is like, man, I've empowered you to make your own decisions. You can say no to some things. Why are you waiting on some man to stop calling you when you know you don't need to talk to him anymore? Like you do it.
We do that prayer. We're like, God, just take him out of my
Right,
life.
we
You don't want
do.
him here. When we know that that's not the person that God wants us to be with or the thing that
Right,
we're supposed to be doing.
you just end it yourself.
Child,
Stop, you're playing
I
around.
be doing stuff like that. God, just
Yeah,
close the door.
I've done it before too.
Just close that door.
I've
And
done
God,
it.
like,
I've done it. I've done that so many times before. And I think that's how stuff just lingers on forever because you're trying to play like the line of being like, God, I'll do what you want me to do. But also you're trying to still like entertain something that you don't need to be in. So like you do that for yourself. Make that decision.
yeah. Mm. We just said a word and a half. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know where to go from there. That was
Yeah. I've done it recently. I guess I'll go into the story now because since I just brought it up. But yeah, like I won't get too specific, but like, I feel like I think it's good to pray like, God, show me if this isn't something for me. And he will show you. And then, but like the rest is up to you. Cause like I've recently had that prayer of being like, okay, like you show me. And then like, the next day we'll have some sort of like weird interaction or like a conversation or something happen that I don't like. And like that is God showing you,
Yep.
That maybe this just isn't for you. And like take initiative and like do it. Don't let it linger.
Yeah.
Like
Because the
just
longer it lingers, the harder that it gets because
yeah.
other emotions are in there.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, this is a cute and funny and nice person.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, but
Oh, I really like him now. Yeah.
he told me about like his like situation when he was
Yeah.
younger.
Yes.
And not here for him.
Exactly. You're like forming an attachment to this
Because guys do
person.
that too.
Yeah. For me, I don't know about y'all, but like, I don't want somebody in the way of the man that is supposed to be in my life. Like if I find out something and I'm like, you're not it, move, get out the way. Like I don't want to delay the person that's supposed to be in my life because I'm holding on to someone who I just want to hold on to.
I literally, you know about this. I'm not gonna get to details too much, but I literally had to pray that prayer of like,
Mm-hmm.
God, is this my blessing or is this blocking my blessing?
Yeah.
And I felt like I was so like confused in things that I was just like, if this is not my blessing or if this is my blessing, speak through that person.
Yeah.
Show me everything that I need to know through that
Yeah.
person. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we'll do.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh, and being a man who goes to church is not the end all be all of like, oh, yep, he's approved by God. Like, you have to have more than that. Like, that is the minimum. Not diminishing going to church and believing God. Obviously, those are wonderful things. And that's a requirement for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes we can meet someone who like initially seems nice and we're like, oh, yeah, he goes to church and he believes in God. But like everything, there's other things. There's like, how do we interact with each other? Like, what do you want out of life? What do I want out of life? Do we have things in common? Like, are we able to have like conversation? I'm not just going off of, oh, well, he believes in God. So like now that's my like, oh, I can move forward with this person. You can believe in God and still be, not know how to compromise and not know how to handle difficult conversation and all of those things. And like I feel like that's just a check. It's a check mark. It's a good one, but like you have to have more than that.
Exactly. Whew. Well,
Ooh, I really went off on that one.
You do have to have more.
Yeah.
Like it's the church facade is what I like to call it. We like to be like, oh well, they go to church.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say like we, but like in general, like people like just like to say, well, they go to church and they do this, and it's just like, oh, but do you like them?
Yeah.
Like,
Do
can
you
you guys
like
hold a
them?
conversation?
Yeah.
No? Okay, you probably don't need to be with that person.
Yeah. And like what is the fruit in their life too of going to church? Because anybody can just walk in the building every Sunday and sit there and listen or whatever. But like what does that look like?
Are they actively displaying things outside of the church walls?
What is their conversation like with you? Is it about sex every time y'all talk to each other? Because like they can still go to church and all of that, but like does it show that they go to church? And also for me, a big thing is leadership. And like, I want to be able to trust a person's leadership. And if I'm seeing signs that like, I can't trust your leadership, the decisions that you make are like, why did you do that? Like you're just all over the place. Or like, how you're living your life, you're going out and doing this and that, but you're like, oh, like I go to church on Sunday. The people that you hang around are doing certain things, your friends and your lifestyle looks a lot differently. I'm not, I'm not signing up for that. I think as women, when we meet someone, we are like the man is going to be leading, but like it's our decision to know what we want to sign up for. If I'm looking at your life and I'm like, I don't like any of that, I'm not signing up my life for that. I'm sorry. Like I have to be able to trust your leadership.
Yeah. And this might hit a nerve for some of our women viewers because I know it is girl be honest. But as a woman, you also have to be willing to let a man lead. That's why it's so important to be with someone that you're comfortable with letting them lead.
Exactly.
That is like ultimate. I was just talking to my mom about that because we have this whole like, especially like Black women, strong, independent Black women. We pick partners that we're comfortable following them.
Yeah,
because I want to be submissive. I do. I do. I know that's controversial, but I do. I do. That's just me. I want to be in that type of marriage where I submit to my husband. I follow my husband. I'm not trying to just follow anybody.
Exactly.
But I have to be willing to kind of just put that guard down. So make sure you're finding somebody that you're like, okay.
That it's worth it. Yeah. And I feel like it makes it a lot easier too if you do meet someone who like has like the leadership, then it's like, okay, now I can submit to his leadership. But like if you're seeing someone, it makes it hard. If there's like this internal struggle with you, you're like, oh gosh, that's just not the person for you. I mean, maybe you just don't trust that person to lead, and like it's okay. Maybe you should go find someone else who you do trust, their leadership.
Yeah. Life. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is your love language?
My first one is probably like acts of service, and then my second one is probably words of affirmation.
I say this and I'm like, I don't even know what mine is. I think
Mm-hmm.
mine is acts of service as first two.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I was trying to find it. I don't really know where it's at though. But I'm pretty sure that it's acts of service first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in all of that stuff? Like,
I do. I do believe in it because I think like it's not even just like romantic relationships, it's just like family, friends, or whatever. I feel like we can perceive love in a certain way by how people are like what people are doing
mhm.
basically for us. So I think sometimes like we might make the mistake of being like, oh, that person doesn't love me because they don't do this and this and this. But like how they show love is this way. So maybe there's just like
Mhm.
a disconnect. It's not like that person doesn't love you. I think it's just like how we perceive love. So I
Yeah.
definitely because we don't all perceive love the same way. Some people aren't
Yeah.
as affectionate, but some people are like super like lovey dovey, and they're like, if he doesn't kiss me, like he doesn't love me. Some people are like that, and some people are like, yeah, I'm just not that. But like I'll do
Yeah.
anything for this person, but I'm just not a touchy person. So I think it's important to like know what those
Mhm.
things are and like communicate that with your person.
Yeah. I love that test because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's another way to show if you're compatible with
Mm-hmm.
somebody.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that stuff like doesn't grow.
Yeah.
And I love how like we have tools like that to that I feel like God has like placed in the world, and it's just like I'm giving you guys another tool, like
Yeah.
maybe you could take this test and figure out like how you
Yeah.
love, like
Mm-hmm.
how you want to be loved. What are what do you like? What do you don't like?
Yeah.
Because I feel like some people genuinely struggle with that. Like, and I know people might be like, that's no self-awareness, but that's something I struggle with. It's like, how do I like want to be like loved like in
Yeah.
a relationship? Like what is something that I really like? And I found out that it's like acts of service, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really a physical touch person.
Yeah.
And it's just because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why do we have like,
Yeah. Why do we have to do that?
yeah, like
But
you're
yeah. But I also think sometimes too when you're in a relationship with
like,
right, if someone is like a physical touch person and you really like them, then you turn into a physical touch person. You're like, oh yeah, I like hugging too. Like now because I like him. So I think some of that stuff can change too when you're dating someone. They're like, I really or like if you're like, man, I really love like when some like my person does this or that, then that person all of a sudden starts doing that stuff.
bringing me flowers.
Right, right, because they like you. So I
Yeah.
think yeah, it depends too, like when you're in a relationship.
I I just want to go back to you being like, if you're in a relationship, like have so much joy with it. Like I
Yeah,
feel like that's genuinely how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have joy from it. Yes, you have your up and down moments, but you have joy. It's
mm-hmm.
joy in it. And I always like say like to friends that have been in a relationship, if your moments of joy are lackluster and
Mm-hmm.
start to become way lower than your moments of turmoil, start looking for an scapegoat.
Yeah,
Because when you get into marriage, it'll probably be even more moments of turmoil.
yeah,
I think
mm-hmm.
it's very important to like note that.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of our listeners might be in relationships that are in turmoil but are
Yeah,
holding on because I've been with this person for so long, or um,
yeah,
I know I had a friend that I've had a couple of friends that I felt like they stayed with people because of it was just like I feel like this is as good as I'm gonna get.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Whether it was like the person's looks wise, or just they had been with them so long, they knew their family, they knew their history. It was just like the comfortability. This is as good as I'm gonna get. This
yeah,
is as good as it gets. And know that my therapist has said one time that sometimes you have to look at it, it's as good as it's going to get in like a different way.
yeah,
You have to think of it as your relationship is as good as it's going to get. It's peaked with that person, and
yeah,
now there's only downhill to go from there.
mm-hmm.
So it's time to go ahead and move on to like the next mountain,
Yeah,
next hill.
mm-hmm.
Because I never want to, I never want to peak,
Yeah,
because I feel like when you peak, the only way to go is down.
mm-hmm.
I only want to continue to like go up. I only want to continue to get better 50, 60 years in.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. I think we've all probably been in relationships too, where we have like seen signs where that it needs to end, and we kind of just keep going, and we're like, but maybe maybe it can work, maybe it can work, But then I don't know. I'm at the place too where I am like I like if I know like who I am, and I think I'm such like this amazing person, like I want that person to be that same way for me, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So like I don't want to settle for something or feel like I'm like compromising to the point where like I'm not getting what I want. And I want to trust God that He's gonna bring someone amazing because I
Yeah.
think I'm amazing. So I don't, and I know that He loves me so much. So why would He give me something that is like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, why would he do that? He's not going to do that. Like he loves me that much, and I've been praying too. God, send me a man that loves me the way that you love me. Like that's what
Good.
I want. Like that's what I want. I want that deep love. I don't want anything superficial. I don't want someone who loves me when it feels right to them or
Yeah.
good to them. Because being in working as a nurse and being in the hospital, and this might be super morbid, but like I've seen people in all walks of life. Like I've seen people who are super sick, people who are married who are super sick, and like it's their last days. I've seen people who just get diagnosed with things, and like having a partner. Like I had this one man who during COVID, like his wife couldn't see him and he was in tears. I mean, he's like, I just love my wife. I miss my wife so much. I've seen, partners who are in the hospital who are like, they are doing everything that they can for
Yeah.
that person. They're doing everything. And life so has so many ups and downs, and and marrying someone, you're also signing up for that person to be there with you in the hardest of hard
Yeah.
times. It's not all gonna be this flowery, oh my gosh, we're so in love, everything is just so fun and light. Like there are going to be hard times, like
Yeah.
people get sick, things happen. You need someone who's going to be there with you 100%, and that you can trust in those moments. That's what I want. I don't
Yeah.
want this, cute, all of that. I want something that is real.
hmm I'm so glad you said that because it's so important to stress you want something that is real because we're
Mm-hmm.
living in such a fake world where people curate their lives
Mm-hmm.
and then they get divorced the next week or
Yeah.
already have the divorce papers sitting on the counter. They're just doing things for like likes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just super important.
Yeah.
Yeah. To stress that.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a deep episode.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about one more thing?
Yeah.
We didn't touch on this. How are you navigating like being? Actually, let's read. We had someone send in a question related to this, so I want to find it.
I think I might know the question.
Let's see. Okay, so this is from Tony.
Yes.
Okay. So this says, how has not being intimate physically impacted your relationships, decisions, thinking, or determined the relationship? Like, how has not being physically intimate with someone, how has that affected like your dating?
I definitely feel like it's hard. Um, just because, to be honest, we're getting older,
Mm-hmm.
and I think sometimes it's expected to be more on the table. And even when I was younger dating, I felt like it was hard to figure out who was truly just there, just to be there, who was truly okay with it, versus the people that were there because
Mm-hmm.
they felt like that they would be the person that would, I
Oh,
guess,
ooh, this is
they
juicy.
would be the person that would change my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come close sometimes where I'm like, oh, yeah, like just to keep a person around,
Yeah.
if I'm being 100% honest. But other times, like, it's just like, no, like you showed your true colors.
Yeah.
I'm cutting you off. But it has definitely been hard. And like I said, in my younger years, there have been times where I'm like, I'm just going to do it because at the end of the day, like it'll keep this person around. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
causing me more trouble than it is
Yeah.
causing me good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized like now that I'm older, I don't care. I felt like I had somebody in my life that I was truly like
Mm-hmm.
before this last person, or
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily not before him, it was a couple of years before him, where I was genuinely like, again, like this is it.
Yeah.
I'm done. And
Yeah.
I feel like that person truly showed me that there are people out there that are willing to wait on you.
Yeah.
I feel like that was his sole purpose,
Mm-hmm.
was to show me how like a woman was supposed to be treated, and to show me that there are people out there that are willing to wait on you, that you don't have to
Yeah.
do anything sexual unless you truly want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful that God put that person in my life. And I pray that for everybody,
Yeah.
to like get that person, even if that's not the person that's going to stay with you forever, because it is hard.
Yeah.
And it does make you sometimes just want to get it over with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with you. And I don't know. I feel like it is hard because sometimes, like we've talked about this in our abstinence episode last season, but it's like, when do I tell this person that like I want to be abstinent? Like, how does, like, when do I communicate that? Like, at the first date, the second date, the third date, like, and how are they gonna feel about that or whatever? I feel like now, at first I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna be tiptoe around it because I don't know how they're gonna like feel. Are they gonna think like I'm weird or something? But now I'm like, I don't care. I tell them like this
Yeah.
is what's happening or not happening. This was not happening. Look, it ain't happening. Like, and you can, if you do feel a way about it, hey, we
On to the next.
right on to the next. Now we know you're not for me. Now we can move on. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how I'm approaching it now. I don't know. I feel like some men are so weird about this stuff too. Like, if someone does tell you, I don't want to say all men, but like, I don't know. Maybe it is a guy thing, and maybe we can ask like guys on an episode or something. But like, I feel like some men are super weird about it and are like, "Oh my gosh, you're a virgin!" Like, wow. Ooh. And they just make it a weird thing.
Sometimes I'm fascinated by it.
I know. And fascination doesn't bother me, but like this weird like obsession about it, that's when I'm like, what is wrong? Like, okay, like let's move on. Like, why is it like this big thing now? So I don't know. That's how I'm approaching it now. I'm like, I just don't, it's kind of like no holds barred for me now. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, that's what's happening, and I'm not gonna feel bad. I don't feel bad about it because I have experience too where you do let a little too much happen, and you're like, and then you can think, oh, this is my person, like it's okay, this is my person and it'll be fine because this is the person that I'm gonna marry. And guess what if you don't get married to that person? What if you break up and now you have to like deal with like, the thoughts and all of that, like, that you did let too many things happen with that person, and now I don't want to go into my marriage with all of this stuff that I'm bringing into it and being like, oh, like I have to get over the fact that like this happened and that happened with this person. And don't let someone convince you either, like, oh, like we're gonna get married, so it's fine.
I never think that should be the basis on you like doing anything. Like the person that I did something with, and I hate that for some people, that they have like that regret, or like they have that like icky feeling when they like think of things, because that means that a lot of the time that, and I don't want to push this on anybody, but I feel like sometimes that means that you weren't completely comfortable with the things that you were doing. You were kind of like pressured into stuff. And I know that's a touchy subject to talk about, but I feel like in my experience and the things that I did like in the past, although it has not gotten to the point of like sex, I don't like carry the baggage. Like sometimes I did like maybe feel bad like afterwards, but I realized I was just like, like it's okay. Like I did think that person was gonna be like, like, you know what, it's okay. God forgives me. I forgive myself, and I don't regret it. It's like not a regret. Like I regret it, but like, do you get what I'm saying? But it's not like like I wasn't forced to do anything. It was like, oh, are you sure?
Yeah, maybe that is the difference. Sure. Yeah. Maybe that's the difference.
And I hate that for people. Like, I genuinely hate that for people because I have so many friends that have been in like that situation. Like, I really hate that. Like, I hate it. And male friends too. Yeah. Just like, I hate this for y'all.
Yeah. That's why I think it's so important to like hold on to no matter how hard it gets, because it is, I feel like, afterwards and trying to like deal with the shame and stuff is like, I feel like it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it. I've been in situations myself where I'm still a virgin. I have not had sex, but like, in some cases things did happen where I felt like, I'm not really proud of that moment,
Yeah.
and it's just so hard too dealing with that afterwards because, and that's why don't let someone come along and be like, oh, like, it's okay. We're going to be married. Like,
No, never
no,
fall for that. Always
don't.
think about how you're gonna feel afterwards.
Yeah, because that person might be the same person turn around and be like, I don't want to be with you anymore. So
Very true.
yeah, so you don't, and then you're stuck feeling like, oh,
I
oh,
should have did that.
right. So I feel like it's just really not worth it. Like something might feel good in the moment or whatever, but it really, truly for me, it ain't worth it because that person might be somebody you don't even see anymore, like, or talk to, or be like, and I don't want to take anything into my marriage, with the person that is for me. I don't want to create these heels that we have to like, because sex is such a special thing, but I feel like it can be tainted so easily with bad experiences. And now you're with your husband and you're like, you want to enjoy this thing, but you now have to fight all of these negative, things like, oh, I feel gross because this happened, or I didn't like that I did this with this person before. And now I'm trying to do it with my husband. And now I feel like, and you have to like fight through all of that where it's just like, I'd rather just save myself for that person who is my husband.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to create any of that stuff.
I definitely get like what you're saying. I feel like I'm just no matter like urges or anything, just like the shop is closed.
Yeah.
So I found my husband. Honestly.
Yeah, it is. Like,
I just hate when people are like, I can change your mind. No, you
no,
can't.
you can't.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
I think that is attractive to men though, like like you haven't been with anyone and like it becomes like this like weird like competition thing where it's like, yeah, like I'm gonna be the one.
When I was younger, when I was in college, it was virgin.
Oh yeah, like I'm gonna be that person. Like it just becomes this weird thing, and I'm like, don't make it weird, please.
I was a virgin because I used to be like very like just didn't really like tell people unless I was like in a relationship with them. And I remember like having a boyfriend, I think it was like freshman year or something, and he tried to like play like I guess like we had sex, and it just like made me so mad.
Yeah,
he was like, "Not you telling people we had sex so you can get like full points." But it was funny because some of the guys that like were on his floor were just like, "We know she ain't doing nothing."
Yeah.
Like we know she ain't. And I appreciate people like that, like just my character.
Yeah.
But some people like just like I said, like knew I was a virgin that I never even told. And it kind of made me like feel like weird about it.
Yeah.
Like oh my gosh, like I'm so far behind. But then I was just like,
yeah.
Eventually this is gonna work for my good.
It is. Yeah. And you don't have all these things that that you have to deal with in your head and all of that. Like
shame for people who have like
it's not shame. Yeah.
For me personally, I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it is a shame thing. I think it's like, what would you choose for yourself? Because we're not looking at people and being like, oh, like, grow up. Why would you do that? It's basically like, what would I choose? Because sometimes we have made mistakes in the past. So you don't look at that person and be like, oh, you made a mistake. You're terrible. But like, if I could like go back and what would I have chosen that for myself?
Yeah,
probably not.
I would think of would I choose it for my daughter.
Oh, that's good.
Well, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't have kids though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. Yes.
It was a great question.
Anything else to say on this topic? I feel
like we did. I don't know. Just continue to like pray for your husband and like this is encouragement for myself because I feel like you have these like I'm not officially out there dating, but like I'm dipping my toe a little bit. Yeah. If I meet someone that I'm like kind of like, okay, let me see. But like even when you do that too, I feel like negative experience can be like, nope, never mind. Like we're gonna go, we're not, never mind. And like you can feel like, I'm not even gonna like want that or like But I think it's important to like still like trust that God has something for you and know that you can trust yourself in making the right decisions for yourself. And you don't have to be so afraid to step out there that you don't do anything, but just try something. And then if you like use your discernment and and use God and lean on him. And if he's showing you things like, no, no, thank you. And then you just move on.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think I would say, like, to close out this episode is I think sometimes like Christian women are like, I'm gonna wait on God. And I know I said this at the beginning of the episode, but I'm glad you said like dip your toe in the water and things like that. Because I feel like I genuinely need to just be like, oh God, let me see what you do in this season. But do not be afraid to date. Yeah. Please don't, because you are hiding yourself. And sometimes we like to say, I'm waiting on God. Yeah. And sometimes for some of us, no, you're just being lazy. You just don't want to do it. You're scared to do it. And that's okay, but try to push yourself. Try to push those boundaries. Maybe go sit at a bar by yourself if you want to do that. If you're comfortable with that, get on the dating app. If that overwhelms you, like, I don't know, just don't automatically be like, oh, well, God is telling me not to do it. Because sometimes it's not God telling you not to do it. Sometimes it's yourself. Yeah, it's yourself. It's with you though, so I don't know. That face. I feel like you're good. Yeah. I don't know. So I can. You're getting back. I am. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I can be like, okay. And sometimes I'm like, absolutely not. I don't want to talk to anyone at all. I feel like that's annoying. So yeah, it is. Like, it is. Like, I don't feel like when you get to know me stage. But for these people, I don't want to say these people. For some people, it is a no, I'm just waiting on God, but truly it's just they're maybe I don't know. I don't know. I get what you're saying. I get it. I get it. Because I get it. Yeah. Because I've been in situations too where like I want God to like bring me a man, but I'm also like I'll go to the grocery store and be like, don't look at me, or like I'm like so focused. If I see a man in the vicinity, or like I'll be at the gym where I've like seen a man like kind of standing there like smiling. I'm like, like. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, well, if like God's like, okay, if I put some around, are you actually gonna like talk to them if they want to talk to you? Like those are the people that I'm specifically calling out. I'm calling y'all out. So if you got to the end of this episode and that is you, yes, feel convicted. Yeah. I know we were talking about convicting people earlier. Yeah. And I'm sorry that I'm going back on my word, but I'm convicting you right now. Yeah. Yeah. Get out there and date. If that man come up to you and talk to you, talk to him. Yeah. You think he's fine? Get to know him. You don't like anything with him, cut him off. Yeah, exactly. Period. Yeah. Be a cutoff queen. Yeah. That's all that I have to say. And know that God loves you. The best love. Yeah. And love yourself so that you can love others. Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. That is the episode. Yes, it is. By the time this comes out, it'll be Valentine's Day. It will be. So happy Valentine's Day. Oh, you want to close it out? How do I always forget to close this out? I don't know. Remember to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, because we're on TikTok now, we're TikTok on the top, and on YouTube at Girl Be Honest Podcast. Yep, and you can also listen to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Yes. All right, y'all. Bye. Bye. Bye.